This is Rose Tobin from Dublin, and this is my second video adventure. I'm taking a course with Coach Phil, and as part of the course, we are experimenting with communicating through different media, including video, audio, etc. So if this is your first time watching one of my videos, thank you so much for joining me. And today, what I felt that I would like to explore for myself as much as for you is the whole art of listening. It's such a gift to be listened to. And I'm sure that if you have had the experience of somebody being fully present to you, being fully there for you, being comfortable, for example, with being silent while you process your thoughts, you'll probably remember what a huge gift that was to you, and also how rare it is in our world. And quite often, if someone is present to us in that way, we often come up with our own answers, our own solutions, our own inspiration, and we don't really need advice. So this is a passage that I found on listening, and like the one I read in the first video, this appears to be anonymous. So I would like to read it to you and then maybe suggest a few things that you might like to try, that certainly I am going to try over the next few days. So it's called simply Listen. When I ask you to listen to me and you start to give me advice, you have not done what I asked. When I ask you to listen to me and you begin to tell me why I shouldn't feel that way, you are trampling on my feelings. When I ask you to listen to me and you feel you have to do something to solve my problem, you have failed me, strange as that may seem. Listen. All that I ask is that you listen. Don't talk or do, just hear me. Advice is cheap. 20 cents will get you both Dear Abby and Billy Graham in the same newspaper. And I can do for myself. I'm not helpless. Maybe discouraged and faltering, but not helpless. When you do something for me that I can and need to do for myself, you contribute to my fear and inadequacy. But when you accept as a simple fact that I feel what I feel, no matter how irrational, then I can stop trying to convince you and get about this business of understanding what's behind this irrational feeling. And when that's clear, the answers are obvious, and I don't need advice. Irrational feelings make sense when we understand what's behind them. So please listen and just hear me. So if you haven't heard that passage before, I'm sure you find it quite powerful, just as I do. So what I'd like to suggest, if this touches you or it rings a bell for you, is that over the next day or two, to pay attention to how you listen to people, or even give yourself the challenge of becoming more mindful in one or two situations, maybe within your family or among your friends, to become conscious, am I listening? Am I being present with this person? Or am I jumping in with my advice or jumping in to share what I feel about the situation? And that's appropriate in some conversations, of course. But in a situation where somebody would really appreciate your presence and just being heard, then it can be a great gift to give to them. What I find helpful, if I feel that is the situation and that somebody really just wants to have somebody present to be able to hear themselves think. What I find helpful, for example, is to just, when they stop speaking, for example, just to take a few breaths. And in that time, I can get a sense whether the person wants to continue to say something, or sometimes a silence can be extremely powerful, extremely fertile time in that conversation. And the person may be processing or thinking about something very deeply. And by allowing for that silence without being uncomfortable or without feeling that I have to jump in and break the silence, I can give them that gift and they can come to their own understanding and their own inspiration. And I know the times when I've experienced this with somebody else, that they have listened to me in that way. I have felt so appreciative of their presence, of their kindness, and of their willingness to allow me just to be myself. So I'd like to suggest that if this resonates with you in some way, that maybe over the next few days, that you become aware of how you listen, and also become aware of, if you're very, very fortunate, someone else listening to you in this way. And I look forward to reading your comments on the Facebook page, because I will be focusing on this as well, and I will share my own experiences as well. So thank you so much for listening, and listening being the operative word today. And maybe we can give both ourselves and other people the gift of our attention, which is really the gift of love, of pure love and presence. So thank you so much for listening to this, and God bless.